Assalamu alaikum, this is Maria Zulfikar welcoming you to the English news from Btv Chattogram. Let's begin with the top stories. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman directs administration officials to work fearlessly and impartially for people's welfare. Army to be withdrawn in phases as people's trust on police created, says Home Minister. Government ready to spend 5% GDP to make radical change in education sector, informs Education Minister. Former Minister Dipomoni, journalists Muzammil Babu and Farzana Rupa ordered to be produced before tribunal in Shapla Square murder case on May 14th. Tehran and Washington close to agreement to end war and open Strait of Hormuz. And PSG edges Bayern Munich in semi-final to reach second straight Champions League final. Viewers, those were the top stories. Now moving on to the details. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman urged public administration officials to work impartially for the welfare of the country and its people. Prime Minister made the remarks while addressing the annual conference of the Bangladesh Administrative Service Association (BASA) at the Bangladesh-China Friendship Conference Center in the capital's Shere Bangla Nagar area, noting that the country's people supported the ruling party's election manifesto that was formulated aimed at ensuring welfare for the country and its people. The Prime Minister said, therefore, it is no longer BNP's party manifesto. Rather, it is now the manifesto of the country's people. It is now the government's manifesto for the people. The government is committed to implementing the manifesto, he said. The main responsibility of implementing the government's public welfare activities lies on public administration. Mentioning that public expectations from the current government are very high, Tariq Rahman said the current democratic government is committed to fulfilling all the justified expectations of the people to the best of its ability. Prime Minister's advisor Muhammad Ismail Zabihullah, State Minister for Public Administration MD Abdul Bari, Cabinet Secretary Nasimul Goni and Prime Minister's Principal Secretary ABM Abdul Sattar spoke at the event, among others with BASA President and Secretary of the Cultural Affairs Ministry Kanings Mola in the chair. Later, Tariq Rahman enjoyed a cultural event. Transparency International Bangladesh TIB Executive Director Dr. Iftikharuzzman has paid a courtesy call on Prime Minister Tariq Rahman. He met the Prime Minister at the Cabinet Division Office in the Secretariat today. Cabinet Secretary Nasimul Goni was present at the meeting. TIB Executive Director has said TIB has presented several recommendations to the Prime Minister regarding the implementation of commitments related to good governance and anti-corruption. The Prime Minister responded positively to TIB's recommendations, he added. He also said that support from the Prime Minister was sought for hosting the International Anti-Corruption Conference in Bangladesh in 2028. Home Minister Salahuddin Ahmed has said that the army will be gradually withdrawn from the field as public confidence in the police force has been restored. He said the government has taken a policy decision not to keep the army deployed indefinitely. Speaking to reporters today after a meeting on stone extraction at the Home Ministry, Salahuddin Ahmed said it has been possible to bring the police force back into an orderly and disciplined condition. education. He added that special drives are being conducted against listed extortionists, terrorists, drug traders and illegal arms holders. The Home Minister also said that a committee will be formed to ensure regulated stone extraction and proper management in the districts of Sylhet and Shongbad. Education Minister Ehsanul Haq Milon has said that the government is prepared to allocate 5% of the GDP to bring about fundamental changes and improve the quality of the education sector. He made the remarks today at an event organized by UNICEF at a hotel in the capital. The Education Minister said that the government is committed to ensuring the necessary investment to develop the country's future generations into skilled human resources. Prime Minister's office spokesperson Dr. Mahdi Amin was also present at the same event. In his speech, Dr. Mahdi Amin emphasized the importance of improving the quality of education and carrying out structural reforms. He said that the dignity and respect of the teaching profession in society and the state must be improved to such a level that the country's talented youth choose it as their first career preference. Highlighting regional disparities in education, he further said that the gap between urban and rural education systems must be reduced and equal opportunities ensured for all. He also stressed the inclusion of moral education in the curriculum and emphasized that before introducing any new foreign language, students should first achieve proper proficiency in their mother tongue, Bangla, and the international language, English. Leaders of Hifazat-e-Islam visited the International Crimes Tribunal to learn about the progress of the crimes against humanity case filed over the mass killing during Hifazat-e-Islam's grand rally at Shapla Chattor in Motijil on May 5, 2013. Azizul Haq Islamabadi, Joint Secretary of Hifazat-e-Islam, said that although the investigation into the case filed during the tenure of the interim government had been ongoing for a long time, proceedings have accelerated after the new chief prosecutor assumed office. He said that the prosecution has collected various evidence and information against fascist Hasina and her administration and that the final investigation report will be submitted to the court on June 7. Meanwhile, Chief Prosecutor of the International Crimes Tribunal, Muhammad Aminul Islam, said that Hifazat-e-Islam leaders met him this morning to inquire about the progress of the case. For the sake of the investigation, the prosecution has sought various information, video footage and details of the families of the victims from them. He said that important evidence emerged yesterday from various memorial meetings and documentary screenings which could assist the investigation. In addition, with special permission, investigators visited the July Memorial Museum and collected some important evidence related to Shapla Chattor. The chief prosecutor further said that an investigative report titled Shomikaran aired on Ekattor television at that time revealed the involvement of journalist Farzana Rupa, Mozammil Babu and Dipuboni. He alleged that the report presented misleading and baseless information with the intention of delivering attention from the real incident. In the crimes against humanity case filed over the incident, the court has ordered former Minister Dipuboni, journalists Mozammil Babu and Farzana Rupa to appear before the International Crimes Tribunal on May 14. Minister for Expatriates, Welfare and Overseas Employment Ariful Haq Chaudhary called for strengthening migrant rights and global cooperation at the UN Forum. He said that ensuring the protection of migrant workers, developing an improved and accurate information system, and taking coordinated and strong steps to combat discrimination and misinformation are the demands of the hour. Speaking as the co-chair of the Multi-Stakeholder Roundtable 4 of the International Migration Review Forum held at the UN headquarters in New York. The minister said that migrant workers should not be considered as a usable labor force but as people with rights. The minister emphasized on collecting accurate, analytical, and comparable migration data, increasing the capacity of the national statistical system, strengthening interagency coordination, and protecting personal privacy and human rights. He also said that it is necessary to ensure accurate and timely information at every stage of migration through multi-purpose service centers, digital platforms, and community-based initiatives. Noting the high risk of domestic workers, agricultural workers, and workers in the informal sector, he called for a rights-based approach to prevent exploitation and unsafe working conditions. He also emphasized the importance of strengthening accountability, digital literacy, and inclusive public discourse to counter xenophobia and misinformation-based anti-immigration campaigns. Now, international news. US President Donald Trump has predicted that the war in Iran will be over quickly. Speaking during a virtual campaign event on Wednesday evening, Donald Trump told Republicans in the state of Georgia that he was optimistic that the war would end soon. He added that most people understood he was right to deny Iran the opportunity to have a nuclear weapon. His comments come after Iran said a U.S. proposal to end the war is still being considered. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghei told the Iranian Students News Agency that the American proposal is still being reviewed by Iran, and after concluding it will inform the Pakistani side of its opinion. U.S. news outlet Axios reported that the White House believes it could be closing in on a 14-point memorandum of understanding with Iran, which could set a framework for more detailed nuclear negotiations. In its report, Axios described the memorandum as one-page 14-point memo, which could set a framework for more detailed nuclear negotiations. Among the provisions it lists are a suspension on Iranian nuclear enrichment, the lifting of sanctions, and restoring free transit through the Strait of Hormuz. Responding to the Axios report, Ibrahim Rezai, the spokesperson of the Iranian Parliament's National Security and Foreign Policy Commission, wrote on X that the Americans will not gain anything in a war they are losing that they have not gained in face-to-face negotiations. He also said Iran has its finger on the trigger and is ready, and warned that if the US did not surrender and grant the necessary concessions, Iran would deliver a harsh and regret-inducing response. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has threatened renewed violence as well, writing on his Truth Social platform that if Iran did not agree to a deal, the bombing starts, and it will be sadly at a much higher level and intensity than it was before. Israel has launched its first strike on the Lebanese capital Beirut since a ceasefire was agreed in April. Netanyahu wrote on social media that forces had targeted a senior Hezbollah commander responsible for firing at Israeli settlements and harming Israel Defense Forces soldiers. The Israeli military has issued a statement saying it killed Ahmed Balut, commander of Hezbollah's elite Radwan unit, in a strike on Beirut's southern suburbs on Wednesday. It also claimed to have killed Muhammad Ali Bazi, head of the intelligence department of the Nasser unit, and Hussein Hassan Rumani, Hezbollah's aerial defense observation officer. Meanwhile, Israel's army has again ordered Lebanese residents to flee for their lives in 3 new areas of southern Lebanon. The forced displacement orders were for the towns of Deir al-Zahrani, Bafroa, and Habush. On the the other hand, the Israeli military has said Hezbollah launched several rockets towards its soldiers in southern Lebanon over the past few hours but caused no casualties. The army said it attacked 15 Hezbollah positions, including weapons storage facilities.